Hello and welcome to NB Drives. My name is Nishmanya and this is a video that came around much faster than I ever thought it would, as I have completed 1 year on YouTube since I started my channel and started uploading videos regularly on it. Over this time, there is a whole lot that I have learned in terms of planning, scheduling, shooting, editing, all these things combined. And in this video, I'm going to give you all the details of stuff I've learned, including analytics, my revenue, how I got monetized, and some learnings that have come to me over the last year, especially about running a YouTube channel. As I stated already, the channel was started back in September of 2023, but my first video to ever go live on the channel was on the 17th of September, same as today. And that was actually an introduction video as well as a review. And God, I just watched them back and they are so different than how I'd go about making a video now. And in terms of my delivery, small things, I don't know if it's noticeable to everyone, but this is definitely something that I can see a massive change in, and generally just how comfortable I am in front of camera, as it was something that never came naturally to me. I was actually fairly camera shy. I did not know editing. I did not know anything particularly about making a video apart from the fact that I could use a camera. That's about it. First, let's begin with the numbers. That's what everyone's here for. So here are some of the analytical figures that I got off my YouTube studio. First up, there's the number of videos I've put out. I've put out a whopping 52 long form videos, which is where the core of my channel lies, in automotive related long form videos. And I have 4 short form videos. And yes, I did drop the ball on that, but my focus was always being on creating long form videos. Now, one big learning was what I initially started with, which was 2 uploads a week. That became extremely hard to keep up, especially because I was filming, shooting, scripting, and editing myself. All these things are not very time efficient, and especially when you're learning the ropes. So I was working constantly, and honestly I felt like I'd burn out if I didn't slow down. So I think 2 months into my YouTube journey, I decided to scale that back, 1 video a week. I have managed to secure about 130,000 views at the point of recording. It's almost 131,000, and that feels like a massive achievement for myself. Now obviously all the views did not come in a extremely linear fashion as I was thinking would be the case. There have been peaks, there have been dips, especially around March of last year, right after I finished my massive road trip around the Golden Quadrilateral in India. I got lax with uploading. I think I missed 2 weeks or a little more, maybe 3 weeks. And that really hurt the consistency I was going for on the channel. But there have been very good peaks also for me, as there have been videos that have crossed over 10,000 views. I have a list of my top 5 best performing videos right here on the screen, and you can see 13,000 for 3 of them, another one that's just crossed 11, and one that's on its way to 10. So these are all very good numbers for me, especially considering the channel's only just crossed 5,000 subscribers. And yes, that is the next graph I'm going to show you guys. The subscriber count has also been increasing at a steady pace, but there have been peaks in this as well. One came in relatively early on when I posted about the upcoming Golden Quadrilateral, and I think I'd just driven the BMW XM. So I got a lot of push from social media. And since this is all organic growth, 500 subscribers in that week and a half was a really big bump to my overall figures, and that actually put me past my first 1,000 subs. I have the milestones listed here. Last few thousand subscribers have come in really fast, and I am so appreciative of the support you guys have shown me. Without you guys, the channel would not be able to grow and your viewership really matters. So thank you so much. And in case you haven't subscribed already, please do so. The button should be right down there somewhere. So yeah, that really helped me out. The next big thing is monetization. Yes, I know everyone is eagerly awaiting these figures. It actually took me a fair amount of time to get monetized, and I am doing this with the perspective of knowing that there are many channels out there that do not get to the monetization criteria within a year. So I'm very fortunate that I did hit all the requirements in time. For those of you who don't know what those are, that is 1,000 subscribers within a 12-month span, and 4,000 view hours is what the requirement is. I crossed these requirements in late February, so my earnings from videos only started around then. Now here's the graph, and as you can see, the earnings aren't quite what they're made out to be on YouTube. It isn't a very easy money printing job or hobby that you can take up. It takes a lot of work, blood, sweat and tears. I know I poured all of that into this channel and I am still learning, but I have huge respect for all the other people doing YouTube full time. Now getting to the numbers themselves, you can see I have an estimated earnings of around 3,300 rupees in the time I've been monetized, and that's just about 6 months or so. So it's not fantastic figures by any means, and honestly this wouldn't even pay for some of the equipment that I've purchased. But that is one of the important learnings, that you do not get into this just for making money, and if you do so, do not rely on ad revenue from Google AdSense to do that, because initially it is going to be a little on the leaner side until you get to a certain threshold. And I feel like that's something a lot of people don't acknowledge. Like, you can get to monetization but still not make a whole lot of money. You can also notice that my top performing video is actually my Land Rover Defender video. That was one of the first few videos that had almost the entire time under monetization. My next is actually the Jeep Meridian, which is second on this list. And that was completely monetized from the first view up until I think it's 8,500 views now. So I'm roughly gonna get about $70 per 1,000 views. I'm fine with that. It's not my primary money making tool at present. So this is something you should definitely keep in mind if you're starting a channel. Now I'll also mention that I have almost 7,000 watch hours on this channel, and that is another achievement I'm very proud of, considering how tough it is to get watch hours and get people to watch the entire video. You can look at the graph. There have been spikes in this also, especially when videos have done well in terms of engagement and retention. I had promised that I'll talk about gear in the start, and I will tell you what all I started with. Initially, all I had was my cell phone, which was a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. That is what I shot all my videos on. Along with that, I had a gimbal. I also had one relatively cheap mic, which definitely improved the audio quality compared to what my phone could do, but it wasn't anything phenomenal. And I had a tripod. So those were the 3 things I needed to start this channel off with. 4 things, sorry. From there, I have over the months scaled up. There are a few cameras that I've added for myself. Mainly there is the Insta360 X3, which has been so convenient for filming cars, especially when I'm all on my own and I don't have any friend who can tag along in, and you know, I can't mount a camera to their car to catch the rollers that I use for my reviews. Another one has been the camera I'm shooting on right now, which is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I absolutely love this camera to bits. It's been one of the best purchases. It's just elevated the shots that I can get. It is so easy to use, and especially for something I found out during the Japan trip, it is easy to vlog on. You don't stand out like a sore thumb, and that for somebody who is relatively camera shy and not very outgoing. I love how discreet this camera is. Also, the little filter attachments that you can put on this camera have helped me level up my filming for cars, especially the CPL filter. Additionally, I also have the DJI mic, which I'm currently using for this video. And I swear I'm not sponsored by DJI. If they do want to sponsor me, I'd be very happy to take that sponsorship. I absolutely love the Pocket 3. So that's roughly what my setup is. And as you can see, my desk has changed compared to my first video. I'll link that in the pop-up window up there. You can go see it was a very different setup. I've also got some studio lighting. Nothing very fancy, they're all they're like Amazon Basics lights. I'll now talk about some of the challenges I faced with the YouTube channel. I sort of alluded to it earlier in the video, but scheduling, that was something I didn't take into account, the fact that it would be so difficult to put 2 videos up a week. And for most people, even if you're doing this full time, it's gonna be a lot of work to put the kind of videos that I'm doing, which require me to go outdoors, shoot cars, and those shoots end up taking multiple hours, 4 or 5 hours sometimes when I'm all by myself. And it's very time consuming. You also have to make sure that you have content like cars lined up. Another thing I want to point out is that there are going to be a lot of highs and lows. When you make a video and do everything from shooting to editing to finding the music, it becomes a very personal thing that you end up putting out. And when it doesn't do particularly well compared to other videos, it does sort of hurt your motivation to a certain degree, because it feels like all the hard work you put in and any improvement that you see is not being picked up. But honestly, you just have to keep at it, and it will at some point or the other start picking up if you aim to improve each of your videos as you go along. And building on this point, another thing is you're really gonna have to build some thick skin as on any platform, considering that my community is relatively quite supportive, and for the most part I've either got really positive feedback, constructive criticism, or even ideas about what to do. There definitely have been comments that got under my skin a few times. I've been picked on for talking only in English and not making Hindi content. I've also been told off about some of my song choices, but these are honestly very small things, and you have to be able to put that aside, because on the whole the people have been very supportive, and this is just part and parcel of putting anything out on a social media platform. You'll also have to note that there might be some sort of videos that you really have in mind that you think will do very well on the channel that just might not end up picking up. I knew from the very get-go that I wanted to introduce some travel related content, and honestly a lot of my travel videos and vlogs have not done as well as my reviews have, but on the flip side I've got a whole new bunch of viewers through those travel videos. So it was a conscious call in my head that I might not get the views that I typically do, but I do get to do something that I really like, which is travel, and that's something that I want to be part of this channel. Another major challenge that you're gonna deal with and you have to be able to keep a level head through is seeing the rise of new channels. There'll be times you'll see people who get on YouTube and they just find success immediately. And since we constantly keep benchmarking ourselves with our competitors or contemporaries, and there are certain targets that you want to reach, it can sometimes be a little disheartening to see other channels pick up pace much faster than yours, or a certain video going viral and you're like hoping for that viral moment. But honestly, organic growth is probably the best way to make a sustainable YouTube channel. Now, while I've just given you the challenges and adversities you're going to face on your way to YouTube success, there are definitely going to be some really big rewards. First up for me is the fact that there's nobody controlling my content. There is just so much freedom in what you create. with the way you edit your videos, with the short decisions that you make. And it's a very liberating feeling for me, especially coming from mainstream media, where I had the liberty of writing stuff that I wanted in the way I wanted to write it, but I didn't have a lot of liberty in what I wrote about. Another thing is, when you do get comments that praise your content or praise the effort that you put in, it just really makes you feel so proud of the work you've done and makes everything feel so worthwhile. I remember one of my very first videos when I got a positive comment from a viewer who just appreciated the kind of content I was putting forward to them and with how I'd packaged it. I was over the moon, and every time I do get such a comment or feedback, it just really gives you that extra burst of energy to keep going. And lastly, there are the experiences I've been able to share with you guys over the last year. Be it driving some of the newest cars around in the market, which I did get to do before, but it was actually driving some of the more exotic cars that really got my creative juices flowing and kept me motivated to keep going. Driving the Golden Quadrilateral solo, that's 6,000 kilometers worth of driving all on my own. That was something I'd wanted to do for so long, because you get to sample basically a large part of India by road, and I even got to drive abroad, let alone I got to drive on mountain roads in Japan. That was an insane memory for me. I will link that video also in the pop-up. It was such an amazing experience, and I would 100% recommend it to anyone who is planning to go there, can go there, or has any plans of driving abroad. Keep that as a bucket list item. And how can I forget to mention attending Le Mans? That was a massive thing for me, as I've wanted to go attend the endurance race for years and years. That was an experience I will not forget, because the atmosphere was wild and there were hundreds of thousands of people along with you, all there just to watch motorsport. There was that common interest everyone who was attending shared. With all that said, I think it's time to end the video here. I am so thankful to all of you guys for the support you've shown this channel over this last year. And if you're new to the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. It helps out a lot, especially considering this is still a small channel. And do hit the like button as well, as this would give me an idea of whether you'd want regular, maybe quarterly updates on how the channel's running. And that's something I could try incorporating into my schedule. Now, closing thoughts would be, if you are planning to get into YouTube, please do it for the right reasons. Do it for a subject you're passionate about. Do it in the form that you think works the best for you. Don't go by gimmicks and trends. Just do something creative that really appeals to you, and I'm sure you'll find your audience out there. Slow and steady is the way to go with it, and who knows, you might just stumble onto some real hits and blow up really quick. If you've already started your YouTube journey, I'd love to hear how you guys started out, what you're doing, and if there are any challenges you faced that maybe I didn't, and if you have any tips. I'd love to know all of that in the comment section below. Apart from that, if you're even thinking of starting a new channel, I'd love to know if there's anything you want to know from this community as a whole, or if there's anything you want to know about making automotive content specifically. I'd love to help you guys out, and I think that's a great place to round out this video. I hope to see you guys again in another year's time with a great progress report and with a much improved level of content. Until next time, cheers.